All right, here we go. Happy Monday, everybody. What's up, Jen?
Nothing. What's up?
Nothing. Just going to do a little podcast.
Let's do this.
A little podcasting. So today we're talking about the hair industry. I don't want to be clickbaity, but I kind of do here.
Clickbaity.
The hair industry is under attack. By itself.
Yeah, I agree.
From itself. By itself. Either way. I think we've been talking about this for a bit. I think people are inadvertently, I don't think anyone's doing it on purpose, but sabotaging other people, groups of people, and the industry. And it's going to take a toll. It's going to have some sort of unintended consequence down the road.
Right. I don't even think people realize it half the time.
Or
most of the time.
Yeah. So what we're talking about is this weird sort of split where people think that you have to either rent or you can't make money. I've seen that. So first of all, anybody that uses words like only, you can only, I've seen this. You can only make money by renting. That's false. We have people making money at our salon.
Correct.
They don't rent. They're commission employees. And I just
one is not better than the other.
No. That's not. Yeah, that's not where we're going at all. That's not what we're saying. I think there's room for both. I think there should be both. I'm excited for whatever comes next because this isn't going to be it. Renting. Let's just talk about it. So renting is not better or worse than being a commission employee. It's almost. I think of when I used to work in the restaurant industry. Not everyone is the manager.
Right. You can't have that.
It doesn't even make sense. So when you're telling somebody in a different industry that every single person should be the manager and the owner, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Because
especially when you put it like that.
Most people don't have the skills to do that. They don't want to do that either.
Or don't enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess we're getting right into this podcast, huh?
Yeah.
I just don't know why it has to be one or the other, or this weird sort of path where people are like, as I've talked to people that say this coming out of school, they go, well, I know I have to work in a commission salon to build my clientele and then go rent. Who told you that? That's not the only flow. And we've seen people who rent who don't want to. So they go back to, and it's not back in their career. They're probably a lot happier. A lot of stuff comes off their plate. They don't have to deal with BS.
Right. They just get to come in and do their job and be creative.
Yeah. And whenever I see misinformation just being spread out there, it's like, it gets annoying.
I find it frustrating, but yes.
Because you're lying to younger people that are more impressionable, and you're going to fuck up their careers because you think it's cool to go rent. And that's awesome. I think it's cool if you think it's cool to go rent, but it's not for everybody. I know people that have moved into it, fallen flat on their face, and now are either leaving the industry or have nothing.
Right.
Was not a good move for them.
I think also there's a lot of...
And that shouldn't happen to people.
Because there's false advertisement. Yes. I've seen it where they're like, you can rent here and keep all your money. Nobody keeps all their money, ever. That's not a thing, because you have so many bills to pay. You have to pay your taxes. You have to pay your rent. You have to buy your stuff.
So the places that are advertising...
You've seen that before.
I have. The places that are advertising that keep all your money. You don't...
There's no integrity there, and you're already starting off lying to people.
But you don't want money for the chair I'm renting?
Right. So
I can't keep all my money.
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about? It doesn't even... Nobody keeps 100% of anything.
Nope. Ever.
That's not how business operates.
Right.
It would be great if all the money that came into a business just made it to the bottom line.
We've said this
before. But it doesn't.
Right. If you look at...
Why am I yelling?
I don't know. If you look at commission versus rental, it's just a pay structure and how you want to get paid. And then obviously there's different lanes that you're in.
Do you want to pay the bills, or do you want someone else to pay the bills?
Correct.
Do you want to deal with the ordering, or do you want someone else to deal with the ordering?
I think they became really big because a lot of salons were not led well.
Screwing people over.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of BS on both sides of this. I'm not attacking.
I would agree.
I've said it 19 times, but I'm not attacking renting at all.
When you've worked in a bunch of salons and you just can't seem to find the right one, sometimes it's you. And sometimes it is just poor leadership of people that open salons and don't know what the hell they're doing. And then I think that created this big movement to people go out on their own because they can do it better. And some probably can. And others, you cannot. You realized, wow, this is really hard. And then now you're in a situation of what do you do next?
One of the other things that gets missed when people think if you have a clientele that will sustain you renting, that you should go rent. That's not necessarily true. We've seen this too. So your clients might not want to go with you.
Right.
You're not keeping 100% of anything ever.
Correct.
So if you don't know how to attract more clients, for example,
right.
As your clients dwindle down, and they will, things happen. People move, people get different jobs, people don't have time, people get laid off and don't have disposable income anymore. What are you going to do? What the fuck are you going to do? If you don't understand business, you just are going to sit there and hope people come in?
I think most do that.
Then what?
I don't know.
I don't get what that mindset of once you can sustain it, that's the only option. There are so many other options.
Right. And I think whether you are rental or commission, whatever position you're in currently, you should be looking for what's next. How do I make more money? How do I get busier? How do I get new clients? That should always be a thing, however your structure is of the salon or barbershop that you're in. If you're like, oh, well, this is good and I'll just stay here forever, things go up. So eventually, whether you're on your own or you're in a commission salon, you've got to raise your prices. You've got to switch some things up. And that's just part of running a business on either side of that. So if you're not comfortable in raising your prices and being innovative and pivoting, then that's where you could find a salon that runs well and they do all that for you.
Yeah.
I don't think runs well, how I just said that made sense, but you know what I mean, is run well.
Yeah, better, but who cares? Yeah, there are bad commission salons, we all know.
Yep.
Because those are the ones you hear about. And then there are good ones. And then there's everything in between.
Yeah.
You can, I don't know, you would have to define what it looks like. Like I know some salons run well and they have sort of an autonomous ownership. They have a, owner that maybe doesn't even do hair.
Right.
That's fine. As long as they understand business, you can do what you need to do and they do what they need to do. And it's a great relationship. There are salons like ours where like you're in there more than me, a lot more, but you're there.
Right. I like to be there.
So there's that. And I'm just going over like what a successful or a well-run, because we keep saying that, but what is, like, if we defined that, what would that look like? I think the person has to do it for themselves. Like, what do you want?
Goes back to having a
like
mission, vision, and core values.
Right. It's the hair pro looking for the best fit for them.
Yes.
And I guess at the end of the day with this podcast episode, what I'm just trying to get out there is don't follow the crowd, because the crowd doesn't have your best interest at heart.
Only you do.
The crowd is being swayed by whoever's leading the crowd. And then it's just like a bunch of monkeys following. Like, I have no clue, but this is what someone said with 1 million followers, so it must be true. That's Instagram, right? I
was going to say that's the social media presence that you really have to be careful of, because they're creating fake enemies to draw you in. And for whatever reason, most people enjoy kind of the negative spin. It's more fun to talk about than just the happy-go-lucky person. So be careful when you see those, because they're trying to get you to look at the negative and to follow because of the negative, when really you have to be like, wait, that doesn't even suit me. Like, you could be reading something like, oh my God, I totally get it. And then you're like, wait, this isn't the life I live. So move on. Like, you really, like you said, like, have your best interests. What do you want out of your career? What does that look like in the future? What does that look like today? What does that even look like short term? And then you build your goals off that, not off somebody with a bazillion followers telling you, don't do this, do this. Like, don't listen to that.
Their job is to influence. And that's what they're doing. They're influencers.
Yep.
So go ahead.
Old school. So the last salon I owned.
Old school.
Back in this was 15 years ago.
Back in the 60s.
Just shut up. So social media wasn't what it is today. And we would go to business meetings and the same thing would happen. And I'll tell you what happened to me. We went into one of them, you brought your numbers in and whatever. And some guy who owned some successful salon in California or Florida or something was just like, this is what I do. You should do it my way.
Yeah.
And blindly, I followed. I was like, well, he says he's successful. I don't know. Nobody was teaching us what that meant for us.
Yeah.
They were just like, this is what I do. It works. You should do it too. So we went back to our salon. We're like, this is what we do. And we didn't know our numbers and that didn't work for us. It actually put us at a loss. It just didn't work for our business model. We didn't understand what we were giving to our employees and that it was hurting the business on the profitability side.
Yeah.
And in today's world, you don't have to go to those meetings. You are now flushed with a bazillion different influencers giving you all of this is what will make you money. This is what will make you money. Some of those might work, but the question you have to ask is, will it work for your business? Your specific business that you're running, because everybody's different. What I charge for a haircut, you may need to charge more or less depending on what your bills are. It doesn't equate. You can't be like, oh, Jen does this, so I'm going to. That may not be success for you. That model may not work for you. So you really have to understand the business you're running, understand your numbers, and understand what's going to work for you. You can use things as a guideline, but don't just implement blindly because that's what someone else does and it equals their success.
This reminds me of what happened when I had my gym. Mm-hmm. It was a CrossFit gym for people out there. If you don't know what CrossFit is, go look it up. It's fun, right? But what we noticed as owners, because I would talk to other owners, mm-hmm. was that the people that we were training, they were making massive progress, but it's never good enough, right? So you have people that are going from not doing anything to being able to complete some really impressive things. And that's what we want. That's why we sort of with CrossFit, we gamified it. We had times, things like that. Now, there's always the elite. So you have your elite level athletes mm-hmm. who are training specifically for
it's their job.
The CrossFit games.
Right.
Well, now you have a whole group of people that are on the bottom who are trying to do what the people at
mm-hmm.
the top are doing, but they're skipping the entire part where those people started out. They're trying to skip that. So they're like, well, if this guy eats this for breakfast, if I eat that for breakfast, well, he takes these supplements.
Right.
Look, Harold, a week ago, you couldn't even run to the mailbox. I don't think you need to worry about supplementation at this point. You need to worry about skipping the sodas at lunch. Those sodies.
And get into the gym and train.
Helping you. Yeah. I remember specific conversations I'd have with clients.
I remember this
that
too.
Would, I had one guy come in, he started making some progress and then all of a sudden he's like, my weight just stalled out. First of all, that's going to happen. Second of all, what are you eating? Let's talk about your nutrition because we have the workouts going now. So turns out he was sucking down Gatorades and he was like, well, I know Gatorades help. And I'm like, help what? Not help your weight loss. And he was like, well, I need that to be able to do the workouts. And I'm like, yeah, don't, but okay. So I said, do me a favor, cut that out for a month. Guess how many pounds he lost in that month? 15.
I was going to say 10.
He lost 15 pounds over the next month.
That's how much Gatorade he was consuming.
He wasn't drinking sugar. Yeah.
But if you look at that elite athlete who might be drinking that because he's training 7 times a day, it's a different world.
It's completely different. You're not on that level.
Right.
So to bring it back to the hair world, when you're looking at somebody that's successful, if you do what they do now that they're successful, you're going to run into problems. You need to do what they did
when they put in the groundwork.
When they were building.
Yes.
No one wants to talk about the stuff that we talk about.
Well, it's not fun and it's not fancy.
No one wants to talk about creating a mission and a vision. They're like, well, my clients will just...
They just know.
They'll just follow me and they'll just do... And then before long, you're irritated at your clients and you're posting passive-aggressive shit on Instagram. Like, new policies and this is my cancellation and blah. No one fucking cares, Karen.
And how many of those people are actually even your clients following? They don't even see it.
They don't care.
No.
No one cares about your dumb
But
whatever.
This is where if you have a mission, a vision, and core values, when you decide to do policy updates or change things in your business or recreate, pivot, innovate, whatever you're doing, you can make really great decisions based on those, and you have consistency now in your business. And you're truly now creating a business, not just on a whim. I'm just going to go do something and all my clients are going to follow me. But you do need to create those things, because you're going to have things flying at you every single day, and you need to be able to understand what those are and answer those questions. And when you have a solid foundation with a mission and a vision, you're able now to answer those in a really methodical way, or with intelligence, I guess.
There's the point of this is that there's room for everybody.
Yeah.
And
there's lots of heads to be cut and colored. You're not going to run out.
When you're out there telling people that there's only one path to success, because we know that there's multiple paths to success, and you are influencing people to take this one path that you should know. If you don't know, you should be ashamed of yourself, because you're a dumbass. But I guess I'm just being blunt today, but you should know that one path's not going to work for 100% of the population. Yeah. So what you're doing is you're dragging these people into this path that they might not be ready for. They might not understand. And by might, I mean definitely not ready for, and definitely don't understand.
And might not work for them.
And then they're failing. And then what? They're leaving the industry?
Right.
What's the average rental career?
I don't know.
Is it the same as, is that looked at as one? Because what is it, 3 to 5 years or something?
It was about 3 to 5 years was the length of a...
Licensed.
Yeah, professional.
Yeah.
So they were done.
And there are, even when they look at those stats, I'm interested in that, because I'm sure there are many more people that hold their license that just don't do hair.
Right. Because
I actually know some of those people.
I know a bunch too. Yeah.
So
I think a business, it needs to be customized to you. So even if you're working with a coach, and we have people that reach all the time, like, so what do we get with this? And I'm like, well, it's customized to what you need. I don't know what you need. You don't know what you need, but we're going to work through it, and we're going to figure it out. What do you get?
Well, like with mentorship with us?
I had someone reach out recently, and I'm like, this is how we do it. This is what it looks like. And then once we get into it, we'll customize the plan for you. Like, this is your business to be run. It's not a cookie cutter black and white thing, because like you said, not one shoe fits all. Or I think that's a saying. Yeah. It needs to be customized, because each person has a different path, a different journey for their business.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of people, when you reach out to somebody, you could be at a breaking point. We need to get you down from that first before. Yes. We're not going to be like, well, you need a mission and a vision. No, if you're like...
We've had people like that. We just need...
If you need some sort of... there's like something bad with your business that we need to...
Some we just need a powwow, right? Yeah. Like literally for some, that's all they need. Or to realize they're not alone.
Yeah, we've had...
Others need a whole list of things.
Yeah, We've had people work with us from 1 month to over a year, year and a half, maybe. Either way. So nothing is just ever one size fits all. Even at our salon, like I'm sure there are people that would be better off not commission, not being an employee. I don't want to... have to work a set schedule or whatever, so it's hard for me to come up with examples, because at our salon, we do things way different. Like, we allow a ton of flexibility. We just want to know what's going on. Right.
We're just a rare breed, but that's because we create a salon that we would want to work at.
But it comes with a lot of guidance. Like, I'll tell somebody, like if somebody wants to raise their prices, we can do it.
We have a conversation.
But here's why that's not a good idea for you right now.
Right.
And here's what we've seen when we've rushed it in the past. Yep. And here's the mistakes that we've allowed people to make, because we were like, you know what?
That's leadership.
Let's just try it.
Right. No, very much so. We coach them so they understand, and they're part of that process, because they should be. Like, that's how they grow. That's how they understand where they sit, and it is a better place.
Yeah. And you always want people to progress. So even in our salon, like I know a lot of people will say, that there's a ceiling. I can't make more money than this. Well, at our salon, it's unlimited, first of all. Mm-hmm. And from what I've seen, people don't go to rent to they're not raising their prices.
Oh, no.
How are you making more? Working more? Like how?
Yeah.
So you get that initial bump, right? where you
I've seen people
where you don't go ahead.
Do the opposite. Rather than you're out on your own, you have all the risk and all that, and they lower their prices.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Because I think they're afraid, and that would be a red flag right away that you're not ready.
They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be mean. It's just people are being influenced to do things that aren't the best fit for them.
Correct.
And they're being sold this is the best fit for you, which is really silly.
And unfortunate, because the last thing you want to do is make a move and fall on your face. You want to make a move and keep growing and moving and becoming more successful and feel really great about it.
I forget what I was going to say before, but anyways, I was scrolling one day through Instagram comments and I was seeing it was
fun.
There was a post about, or it was like renting or something. I don't know. And people in the comments section were just like, 100% of commission owners are selfish and they want their second vacation home and they're stealing money from their employees. And I'm like, what happened to you? Like, what? If people are stealing money from you, you need to go to the police, not Instagram. You need to go to your lawyer. You need to figure something out.
Yeah, there's a labor board for that.
Yeah, there are
and they take it very seriously.
There are systems in place that you should be going to, not just to sound off in the comments on Instagram.
And be careful of accusations, because if they're not true, that's not okay.
Also, like, they're 100%, like, I don't steal from my employees.
We break down for our employees, we have before, exactly where the money goes. Like, this percent goes to rent, this percent goes to electricity, this goes to our insurance.
Yeah.
So you can see clearly, like, if there's anything left over, the percentage of what that looks like.
Yeah, and to make it easy, because not a lot of people think in percents, I just break down $1. Every dollar that comes in, this many cents goes to this many cents goes to this. And people are like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it makes sense for them because they're involved in that and they should be. I think that helps.
Yes.
I think that helps with your culture. I think that helps people feel heard and supported on both sides. Because you don't, as an owner, you don't have to like open your books for somebody completely. You don't
like you said, you can break it down just kind of generically. Yeah.
I think that helps owners as well. You're getting your staff involved, and once they realize what's going on behind the scenes and all that stuff and what it takes to run a business and what you're doing, they don't look at it as you're taking their money.
Right.
Because no, you're not. But I've had people say that.
I know. I have too.
I've had people say that to my face where they're like, owners take half of our money. And I'm like, what? They don't take any of your money. They pay you.
Yeah.
You do a job, you provide a service, and you get paid for that service. Yeah. I don't know why.
In any structure you look at it.
Right. I don't know why that's so difficult for some people to understand. But
so when you're your own owner, are you taking your own money and stealing it from you? Because you're not. You're
stealing it from the government when you hide your taxes with your Venmo or whatever you're doing. Remember when that was a huge thing?
Yes.
Guys, everyone in the beauty industry was a tax expert all of a sudden. Guys, over $600, whatever it was. Everyone was like, this is what we need to do. I'm like, okay, guys, mount up. Just talk to your fucking accountant. Oh, you don't have one.
You need one. Everyone needs one.
Anyways, the point, another point, we keep going on these points, but you're not going to strengthen anything by dividing it. So every time there's a division in your industry, it just weakens it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people talk about, we need to professionalize hair. We don't want people to look at our careers as hobbies. Mm-hmm. Well, stop treating it like that.
Right. I would challenge you to, I think it's really important to get outside of your bubble. So whether you
get out, and by bubble, she means echo chamber, because you're probably hanging out with people that are saying the same shit that you want to hear.
Right. Which is not a good place to be. Like, you need to go into other salons. I would talk to other owners. I would talk to anybody. I talk to everybody. I talk to commission employees. I could talk to other renters. I talk to owners, talk to all kinds of people. And collectively, it really helps me come back and have an open mind for our business. But I think it's important, exactly like you're saying, to not just be around all like-minded people so you can all just trash everything or, have people that just make you feel better. Like, you need people to challenge you, and you need to look outside of what you're doing in order to make it better. So go I always say this all the time, go to another salon and get a blow dry and just look around and take in what you're seeing and see things that maybe you could make better in your environment, you know, or like just talk to other people and don't take all your information from social media.
And stop making people feel bad because they like their situation.
Yes.
I know.
We can all live together peacefully.
I know employees of salons that are happy, that are like, I don't know that I would change anything. I like it. I come in, I know what I'm responsible for. Right. I do my job. I feel supported. Good to go. This works for me. And I don't know why people would, well, I get it, because even rental salons, right? They have empty chairs.
Yeah.
Not every one, but not every commission salon has empty chairs.
Right.
Like, so I get it. They're advertising, they're marketing, and they're trying to persuade people and influence people to come rent from them.
Yeah.
I get it, but it's not for everyone. Just like I've said a million times, there's not room for everyone at our salon. It's just not the right fit. What was I going to say? I don't know. I had a thought, and then
and then poof.
Well, what were you talking about last? I don't even remember, because you were just ranting like a lunatic.
I am a lunatic at times.
All right. Well, I guess let's wrap it up then.
Okay. What do we want to leave our I almost said our viewers, because someday we're going to have a TV show, our listeners.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you got to do what's best for you. And I would be careful of where you get your information. I would pay attention to and meet with some sort of financial person. Mm-hmm. I remember what I was going to say now. I was talking with a friend the other day, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do about something. And I was like, I want this to work. And then he hit me with do you want this, or do you really want this other option? And I was like, like that's a 1A, 1B thing for me. And but by him asking that question, it wasn't like, oh yeah, do that. He was like, what are you really trying to accomplish, Todd?
True
what are you
friend.
really trying to do here?
Yeah. Trying to help you through. Yeah.
And anyways, you're going to probably need to hear some stuff that you don't want to hear. Right.
That's being challenged. That's a good thing, because it makes you think differently. That's
all of us, though. Yes. That's not, and again, I'm not trying to persuade people to do anything else except their homework and make the best decision for them. When we set out with this podcast, it really was to try to help clean some things up, to try to bring new ideas or different ideas about thinking about business. Mm-hmm. Don't just follow the leader.
Correct.
Don't do the monkey see, monkey do thing. Mm-hmm. It rarely works. If you are always just doing what someone else does, I've said this a million times, you can only be in second place. You can only be a watered down version of that other person. You have to think for yourself. You have to get, like I was saying a second ago, talk to someone who understands finances. That's not a friend. Yes. Because your friend is probably going to give you, if they don't know how to give you the truth, or they think you don't want to hear something, they might
or they
sort
don't
of
know.
Water it down.
An accountant that's their profession.
Well, I mean, if you have a friend that's an accountant, I would talk to somebody else. Yeah. Right? Because you can sway your friend, or you can extrapolate what you want to take out of the conversation.
That makes sense.
So yeah, I would talk to a professional that's not a friend. I would maybe talk to a lawyer. I would weigh out everything. Mm-hmm. And because again, even if you're like, you know what, I like the commission route, like we like that because we don't have to get into it, but there are more pros for us than cons. Mm-hmm. And if you're listening and you're like, I want to open a commission salon, I think I can do it. I'm going to tell you to take a pause, go talk to some people about it. Do your research. Figure out what you need. A lot of people come in and they're like, this is what I'm going to charge. And then you're like, you haven't found a space yet. And they're like, I know. And I'm like,
then you don't know what you need to charge.
Then you don't know what you need to charge, because you do not know what your lease looks like.
Without those numbers, you can't just take from thin air and
is it based on just you? Is it based on a team? Like, what are you doing?
What's the vision?
And then they show me a picture of their logo and I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. Don't do that. Anyways, if you need help, I guess reach out. Yeah. That got a little long-winded. I'm sorry if I sounded aggressive, but I think it's important.
I think it's important for you to really look at what you're doing and make sure it's best for you. Take your inspiration, but don't follow blindly.
That's it. We'll see you next week.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.